Hello and welcome to the Karsch and Anderson program. I'm Doug Karsch. That is Scott the Gator Anderson. Scott, I'm going to warn you. Saturday I lost my voice. And yesterday, I guess I'm not warning you. I'm warning everybody. Lost my voice. And yesterday it was kind of coming back. And today it's still on the mend. But
why'd you lose your voice in Saturday's game?
So it got pretty cold.
Yeah.
And I just think there was a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking. I don't know. I didn't respond well to it. So
Jansen wouldn't let you shut. Is the window open?
Window's open, yeah. We like the window open.
Okay.
Love the window open. But and we went down to tape the TV show after the game, and I literally was like, I don't know if I can talk, and managed to get some water and rally. But anyway, it's a good time for a bye week. I'll just say that. The Wolverines aren't the only people that were hurting Saturday. So I was not good yesterday. And I'm kind of bummed about it. I'm bummed about it for a variety of reasons. But it will delve into everything that went wrong and hope that it was a one-off. You play bad games. Like in the course of a season, you play bad games. The fact is there's a trade deadline tomorrow. And I don't see, when you see what Philly did yesterday and today, you can sense of urgency for Detroit to get something done right now. And maybe more than one move, right? That's kind of big picture thinking. But overall, I mean, they lost that game yesterday, I thought, at the line of scrimmage offensively. They had no answers for what Minnesota was doing defensively, and it felt like they didn't, the blocking was substandard, the execution was substandard, the Vikings played a great game defensively. I mean, if you take all the helmets, they were all blank and the uniforms were all blank and it was just one team in purple and one team in blue and we knew nothing about it, I would walk away and say that team in purple was better. It's a better football team. That's what it looked like. And that can happen on any given Sunday. Hell, I didn't watch the Carolina-Green Bay game, but Carolina won at Green Bay. So this is the NFL. It's hard to win. You better show up. And if you don't, and they didn't have anything close, they weren't anywhere close to the best version of themselves, and it cost them.
No, there were so many costly mistakes in the game, and Dan Campbell said afterwards it was all facets of the game, and he's right. I mean, he's like, if you want the perfect storm of how to lose a game, we just showed you how to do it. And whether it's the blocked field goal, which obviously was costly because it's 3 points, you had the fumble from Montgomery as he's running towards a first down. That's huge. Countless penalties in the game that were costly. Some were confusing. And it just, then just, I don't, you can't sugarcoat it. Just bad offensive line play. And we're used to elite offensive line play.
Yep.
And we haven't seen it this year. And I think we understand why. You got different personnel in there, and that's what's going to happen. But I think the question they have to ask themselves is, at least certainly over the next 24 hours because of the trade deadline, but even moving forward is, okay, what's our plan? What's our realistic long-term plan here? Obviously, Penei Sewell is a guy. He's the guy. I like Tate Ratledge, but now is Tate Ratledge hitting a little bit of a wall here? He left the game for a brief period yesterday, came back in. Mahogany at left guard, I think that's another question you have. And we jokingly use the term throw another year or hang another year on a player, but Taylor Decker is breaking down before our eyes, and it left the game yesterday with a knee injury, and he had just come back from a shoulder. And I think there are real question marks on that offensive line, not just as it pertains to the trade deadline, but as it pertains to the future of this team. And I can recognize they can address the larger scale things in the offseason, but something has to be addressed now very quickly because they're not getting it done. They provided very little protection for Jared Goff, and they did not move that defensive line much at all to open up running lanes at all. I mean, the Lions had a total of they had 65 yards in the ground and averaged 3.3 a carry. Gibbs wasn't getting the job done. Montgomery wasn't getting the job done. And the one carry Montgomery was getting the job done, he coughed it up. And it's really unfortunate because this offense has looked at times, even this season, like it's the best offense in the league. And they just could not get out of their own way yesterday, and it was really frustrating and startling to see coming off a bye week when you have this extra time to work at things. And Jared Goff said, no, I felt great. I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we were ready to go, and clearly they weren't. And that's an issue. Now, it's not to say that Minnesota sucked going into the game, but the Vikings were a 14-win team last year. It's a good football team. The changing quarterback, McCarthy has a skill set that the other quarterbacks they've had in the past do not. And it's not like J.J. McCarthy was outstanding yesterday. He didn't play above himself. He was fine. He was, he made plays when he needed to make plays, and that's really what that.
He made some big time throws.
Yeah,
big time times.
A couple of really good throws, but in the end, he was 14 out of 25 for 143 yards. So, with numbers like that, you wouldn't think somebody's going to beat you. But the problem is, you hand the ball off to that team in plus territory, you're going to find yourself in trouble, and that's it. It's the Lions' mistakes that led to the Vikings be able to capitalize. Now, right off the bat, though, the problem was the Vikings were able to set tempo with Aaron Jones. Running the ball, catching the ball out of the backfield, and then he gets hurt and doesn't play much in the fourth quarter. But Jordan Mason had a couple of nice runs, too. It's very frustrating, obviously, for that team, for the Lions, for sure. But for us as fans, this is what we can do. I can't speak for the team. I'm sure they are. However, us as fans, it's really frustrating to see that kind of a game after the bye week against a team that you thought that you had a pretty good handle on.
I guess I have a weird bye theory. I think you come out of the bye and you either look great or sluggish, and I don't know that there's any in between. And I think it applies to football at all levels. Either you get in the rhythm of the season and you get out of the rhythm and it's hard to get it back, or it takes a while to get it back, or you come out flying. And I don't know what this is like. It's not. I don't have any data to support this. It's just the way I feel. You're either going to look great out of a bye or sluggish out of a bye, and they didn't look great.
No, and they in the past haven't had a problem coming out of the bye week. And in the past have not had a problem with Minnesota at all with that defense. Jared Goff and the offense has flourished against that defense. They couldn't figure out who was coming on blitzes in the game yesterday, and give credit to the Vikings. They overpowered the Lions' offensive line and got right through to the quarterback, and it was just, as Mickey Redmond likes to say, Katie bar the door. Goff got sacked 5 times. I think he was hit like 10 times. It was he got beat up quite a bit.
All right, Mondays mean Champ and Chump. Let's get your Champ and Chump votes in, 248-539-9797. Our question for you is, what does that loss mean? Is it a one-off? Was it a bad game? It's been a while since they've played a game. You can kind of count on one hand, like last year, their bad loss was unfortunately in the playoffs. And that doesn't mean they were a heavy favorite, but Washington wasn't bad. Like, they were a good football team. Obviously, they made it to the NFC title game. But that felt like a bad loss to a good team. This feels like a bad loss. The losses to Kansas City and Green Bay came against good football teams. Minnesota was good last year. They have struggled this year. They obviously have had problems with injuries at quarterback. JJ was back yesterday and made some big-time throws, but that doesn't feel like I would put it in the, I didn't panic after Kansas City, didn't panic after Green Bay. Those are good teams. This team, I'm not so sure Minnesota's going to be a good team. They look really good yesterday. Really good yesterday. And if I were a Minnesota fan, I'd be encouraged. But, prior to that, it's been a couple years since it feels like we've had one of these. 248-539-9797. What does this loss mean? It's Karsch and Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.